You know, there's skills and things that they think you should learn to be happy. I mean, I think gratitude is one. There's a movement which is really concerned with just feeling thankful about everything. But you see, it's funny how a lot of this stuff is really quite quasi-religious. You know, it's sort of secularized religious practice. You know, so there's, you know, so you say, you know, like before your meal, and if you're a Christian, you might say grace, say thank you for this meal. So it's basically to feel gratitude for these things makes you feel happier. So in a way, it's just it says a lot of these practices that, you know, you might have been encouraged to do in terms of Christianity or these things that actually they do actually improve your happiness, like prayer, you know, meditation. These things do actually improve your happiness. People who go to church and believe in God tend to be a lot happier than just, you know, people who are, you know, atheists or whatever and don't have church. Now that could be, well, of course, the community aspect. You know, maybe it's just because they're meeting people like that. But I think there's that faith in a transcendent being gives them hope, something that's beyond the normal worldly concerns. Well, I think that is an interesting finding, you know, this idea of meaning. And I suppose if you depend on your happiness on the things around you, you know, you can depend on other people that love you or whatever, and that's good up to a point, but these things are going to go away at some point, you know, or even you can depend on, you say, well, I'll depend on myself, I'll trust no one but depend on myself. But even then yourself, you know, you might have experiences that sort of break your sense of self-down or your sense of confidence and things. And so I suppose a belief in a God or a higher being is like one thing that's protected from the kind of
fluctuations
of life, the kind of change and breakdown and all this. So you can see how that gives people a, you know, sort of inner strength. But it's hard to, like, how do you, you know, in a secular society, how do you bring back that kind of thing? And there's all this, you know, atheism, you know, this kind of militant atheism at the minute with, like, Richard Dawkins and these kind of people. And it's interesting. I think the happiness research is quite interesting in contrast to that kind of really ultra rationalist. You know, I mean, that's all about. I suppose that's really about creationism and these kind of things, and that kind of narrow-minded religiosity. But I think maybe there's something to be said for the kind of meaning. You know, sort of having a really meaningful life and those kind of experiences, mystical experiences, you like, that I guess religion in certain ways kept hold of. So I think that's an interesting area in the happiness research, but I don't really know what my conclusion would be.